Hey, it's Emily Williams, the founder of I Heart My Life, and you are host of the I Heart My Life show. This is episode 160, Lessons from the Crown, Why Self-Validation is So Important. All right, so like a lot of the world, I am obsessed with the Crown. I have always been obsessed with the UK and England and just the royal family themselves. When I moved to the UK about 10 years ago, I was also met with so many questions from Americans wondering about Prince William and Kate, wondering about the Queen, wondering if we ever saw the royal family. And although I did get up at 4 a.m. to attend Kate and Will's wedding, and I got to stand right outside of the beautiful church where they were married and got incredible pictures, I've actually never met the royal family. All right. So let's just set the record straight. Since I don't know them personally, I am fascinated by the inner workings of their family, the dynamics, all of the drama, of course. And so when it comes to The Crown, I totally eat it up. James and I binge watch it, and I'm a little bit obsessed. Now, today, I'm recording an episode all about self-validation, and I'll tell you in just a little bit how this even came to be. And I want to talk about why this is so important, especially for driven women. Those of us who get our validation from achievement, we literally wake up in the morning with a whole laundry list of things to tick off. And if when we lay our head down at night, we haven't ticked off those things, we start to feel bad about ourselves, right? Because we know that achievement equals success, and achievement equals, you know what, I'm doing great in life, and I'm going to be doing more and more and more every single day to remind myself how awesome I am. Now, when achievement is based on doing, right, and when we get our validation from achievement, that's a slippery slope, because the moment we take a break, the moment we don't perform as well as we think we should have, then our self-confidence plummets. So today I want to talk a bit about self-appreciation, self-love, self-validation, all of those key components to ensure that you keep moving forward and that nothing throws you off track. So let's dive in. This episode was sponsored by the I Heart My Life Mastermind. The I Heart My Life Mastermind is perfect for you if you already have a business and you're looking to scale. We cover tons of different topics. We cover marketing strategy, revenue planning, team, processes, everything you need in terms of mindset, high performance, really taking care of yourself as well as your business, events, publicity. We literally have 7 coaches under one umbrella to support you and give you the answers to all of your burning questions. We host regular weekly workshops where you get your personal questions answered. We have retreats. You have a private Slack channel where you get to ask questions 24/7. You have an extensive resource bank that helps you put in place our cash method in your own business, and much, much more. This is one of the most inventive programs around. I don't know anyone else offering the service that we provide. So if you are interested in growing your business and transforming your life, definitely book a call with us to learn more. Go to iheartmylifebooking.com and learn more about the I Heart My Life Mastermind. So James and I binge watched season 4 of The Crown. And during episode 8, it was at the very beginning of the episode, I saw this beautiful scene that inspired me to record this episode today. So the episode in particular is called 48-1, and it's all about some of the difficulties that were occurring when Queen Elizabeth was young in South Africa. And she actually traveled there and recorded a beautiful speech, basically pledging allegiance and support of South Africa from then until the day that she died. And she did such a great job delivering such, compassion for that country. And in the end, after she was done, I don't know how long she was speaking, but it seemed pretty long to me. She kind of looked around at all of the people who surrounded her. She was sitting on a porch and she kind of looked out into the landscape, and you could tell that there were other people there who had maybe been speechwriters or people who set up the technology so she could present this to an entire country. And she appeared to be looking for validation, somebody to say, "You did a great job, Your Majesty." Only it never came. And in that moment, as James and I were watching that scene, I said out loud, no one told her she did a good job. And that reminded me how much I still need other people to tell me that I did a good job. So we're going to talk about that today. The truth is, it shouldn't matter what other people think, but for the majority of us, we do get a lot of joy and a lot of confidence from having the approval of others. So first and foremost, I want you to really think about the way in which you receive love. At I Heart My Life, whenever we have a new team member join, we have them fill out a type form questionnaire that basically gives us key information about them. And one of those pieces of information is what their love language actually is. So if you don't know what love languages are, definitely look up the 5 love languages and figure out which of those is yours. Sometimes people have 2. You can take a quiz. It's really easy and it's super fun to do. It's fun to do with your partner as well, your husband or your wife or your boyfriend, girlfriend, and just figure out the way in which you receive love. Now, for me, one of the ways in which I receive love is words of affirmation. So I love when people say nice things about me. I love to hear compliments. I love after I host a webinar for my team to tell me I did an amazing job. That's just part of my personality and obviously stems from the way in which I was shown love when I was growing up. Now, I'm the oldest of 4 kids, and I was always all about achievement. I wanted to get straight A's. I had a 4.0 when I graduated college. I studied all the time. I really, James will tell me about all of these moments in his young adult life where he was out with friends and, doing all these fun things and traveling. And honestly, during college, I basically just studied. And so achievement has always been a big part of my DNA. And I know that that's because I was rewarded for being smart and doing good in school and staying focused and diligent in my studies as a child and as a teenager. That's one of the ways I was shown love. And that's not to say anything negative about my parents. I appreciate that about them because it's made me who I am today. But it's also something that I want to be aware of because, as my husband says when he coaches our students, that self-validation should be the thing that fills you up. The compliments and other people saying nice things about you, that should just be the bonus. It should not be something that you require to have happiness and to feel confident about yourself. So what I ultimately had to realize was, yes, it's totally fine that I want to receive compliments from people and I want to be validated and I want people to tell me I did a good job. But ultimately, that should be the bonus. I need to be able to fill up my cup myself and not require it from other people. So the reason why this is so important and why I want to bring this up today is because I see so many women falling in this same category. Women who are driven, women who want to create successful businesses, and yet they're reliant on an outside resource, whether that's a person or a sale coming in, to tell them that they did a good job or to validate them. And that truly is a slippery slope. I've seen it in my own life and business. So if you think about it, anytime something doesn't happen as you want it to, maybe you don't have a successful launch, maybe the client who you thought would say yes actually says no, your confidence is going to plummet. And although you can generate bounce back ability, which we talk about at I Heart My Life, and you can bounce back quicker and quicker with practice, that still has the power or the potential to take you down and to zap your energy. And we need all of our energy to go to the next level and to serve the world and to be happy. Right? And so when we're looking for those outside sources, things that oftentimes we can't control, it really is a dangerous sort of path. So we have to learn how to validate ourselves and recognize that everything else is just a bonus. Let me give you another example. I was on a coaching call with one of my private clients a few weeks ago, and she was having a bit of a difficult time. It was a hard day for her, and she wanted to start off our session with celebrating some sort of success to try and kind of shift herself into a positive mindset. And we do this all the time at I Heart My Life. Success Fridays are one of the biggest things of the week. We love seeing all of our clients celebrate their achievements. But one of the things that I recognized in that moment was all of her achievements and all the things she was celebrating were outside events, outside things that had happened. She celebrated a positive response from a client. She celebrated one of her clients who had had a big success. And so I really shifted and asked her to tell me what she actually appreciated about herself. And it really had nothing to do with, all of those things not being important. Of course, we want our clients to have wins. Of course, we love receiving amazing emails, but we have to be able to look within and show appreciation for ourselves first and foremost. And honestly, it took her a good 2 minutes to come up with that first thing that she appreciated about herself. And I even see that within myself. So every single day, James and I have a practice where we share 3 things that we appreciate about ourselves, as well as 3 things we're grateful for and 3 things we love about one another. And there are times where I'm so hard on myself throughout the day that when it comes to expressing those appreciations, I really struggle. And I even told James once, I said, if I am not 100% feeling like I did the best in this thing, it's hard for me to show appreciation for myself. Sometimes I remember something I did throughout the day, and it was maybe like 80% of what I wanted it to be. Maybe I hosted a webinar, and I think, well, you know what? I could have done better. It's really challenging for me to show appreciation for myself unless I feel 100% positive that I did all that I possibly could. And in saying that out loud, I'm realizing how sad that is, because for those of us who have high standards for our work and for what we put out into the world, it's nearly impossible to always feel 100% proud of something. There's always a next level. There's always something that we could have done better. And if we're going to wait until we reach that 100% before we actually validate ourselves and remind ourselves that we did a really good job, well, we're probably going to be waiting forever. And then we're going to be reliant on those outside sources to tell us how amazing we are, how smart we are, whatever it may be. And so we have to start practicing small appreciation on a regular basis. And by the way, this does not need to be appreciation about achievement, because again, that's a slippery slope. The moment you take time off from your business or from your career, it's like, okay, well, I haven't achieved anything today. I talk to a lot of women who, when they wake up in the morning, immediately their mind goes to that checklist of all the things that they need to do, all the things that they want to tick off. And then when they lay their head down at night, if they haven't actually achieved those things and ticked them off the list, it's like, okay, well, I can't validate myself today. I didn't do a good enough job. And they go to bed feeling negative, feeling like they're not worthy, feeling like they didn't do enough and they aren't enough. And then it's this never-ending cycle. And so just like gratitude, which I've talked about in other episodes, we need to start practicing that self-validation and self-appreciation with every little thing we possibly can think of. So for example, today I'm sitting next to a ginormous gallon of water that I filled up for myself. I can show appreciation for the fact that I'm taking care of my body, right? This morning, I got up early. I got up at 5:30. I didn't immediately look at my phone. I didn't immediately dive into the computer. So I can show appreciation for myself for kind of warming up into my day. Maybe I can show appreciation for putting on a beautiful outfit. Maybe I can show appreciation for brushing my hair. Like, it has to be normal for us to practice this practice, for us to make it the norm to show appreciation for ourselves, even for things that are small. Maybe you made yourself a beautiful meal. Maybe you complimented a friend. Maybe you sent a thank you card to somebody. Showing appreciation for yourself, it has to be part of your daily routine in order for you to feel and to feel validated and to feel that self-worth that we are all craving. Again, when we look for that from other people, it's a slippery slope. I don't know how else to describe it. And so right now, I want you to think of a few ways that you could start to self-validate on a regular basis. Is it at the end of the day, repeating or saying those things out loud, like I mentioned that James and I do, where you share 3 things you appreciate about yourself? Is it in the morning writing a list of appreciations before you even get out of bed, or maybe doing that in the evening? So you can come up with a practice that works best for you, but it's really important that we start to do that, because there are going to be people who don't believe in your dreams. There are going to be people who don't understand what it is that you're doing in the world. There are going to be people who doubt you, just like there were with Queen Elizabeth. How many people who were in parliament, prime ministers, how many people who she actually came in contact with on a regular basis doubted her and doubted her abilities. She was queen at a very young age. You better believe that she had to develop a high level of self-confidence in order to take on that role and do it well. And whether you agree with the royal family or anything in the crown, and maybe you don't care at all, we can all agree that if we had more confidence, we would ultimately achieve more. We would have more impact. And of course, we would be happier, which is the point of this entire episode. I don't care if you take everything off your list, but I do know that a lot of people are listening to this show because you want more success. And if there's anything I've learned over the past few years, success is really dependent on your view of yourself. You have to sell to yourself before you can sell to anyone else. You have to believe that you can do it. You have to appreciate yourself and show yourself self-love. A lot of people are talking to themselves in a way that they would never speak to any friend or colleague. And yet we're beating ourselves up on a daily basis. We're going to bed with this feeling of, I didn't do enough. What if you decided every single day you just have 3 or 4 things that you absolutely must get done? And then you recognize, you know what? I'm always going to have a laundry list of items. I'm always going to have a to-do list, but these are the 3 or 4. And that's what I'm going to set my sights on. So many people, they feel like a failure at the end of the day because they are creating so much work for themselves. And again, I'll raise my hand here because I have a big to-do list every single day. And there still is a part of me, again, that was validated as a child for being an achiever who wants to do it all and doesn't understand that there will always be a to-do list because I'm a driven person. I want to take everything off. I want to get the gold star. I want to get the A. But I have to start doing that for myself, regardless of how much I achieve in a day. I am worthy because I am human. I am worthy because I'm here on this planet. I am worthy because I am a special person. Whatever the phrase is that resonates with you, we want to develop that self-validation, regardless of what we do on a daily basis with our 24 hours, regardless of what other people say. Again, there will always be people who believe in you, and there will always be people who don't. But the most important person is you. James always says that you are your client. You are your first client. And so validate yourself, take care of yourself, show that appreciation, show that love in a way that feels really good for you. I hope you loved today's episode. Take a second and spread this message to somebody who needs it. We all know pretty much everyone in the world could appreciate themselves a little bit more. So send this to someone who may need this message today. And please take a second to leave us a review on iTunes. I read all of the reviews, and it really helps us get this podcast into more hands, into more ears, and spread the I Heart My Life movement far and wide. Thank you so much for being an incredible listener of the I Heart My Life show. I'll talk to you next time. We hope you loved this episode. Thank you so much for being an avid listener of the I Heart My Life show. Take a second and leave a review. It would mean so much to us, and we read all of them. And for further inspiration and life and business tips about creating a life that you love and achieving massive success, definitely follow us at I Heart My Life on Instagram and at I Heart My Life Now on Facebook. See you next time.